to hate the game. Oh, this talk for so much pain. So much pain until then again. Well, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to hear me. All the things that I'm saying, I'm staring down at your real talk. Real talk, you know, it's hard to find. Accidental mental breakdown. Mental break. I said to break down. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Mental break. I said to break down. Accidental mental breakdown. Oh, they leave you insane. Don't hate the doctor, hate the game. Oh, this talk for so much pain. So much pain until that game. Well, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to hear me. All the things that I'm saying, I'm staring down at your real talk. Ow! Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. I say to breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. I say to breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Real talk, you know it's hard to find. There's no one behind you. See her talk, you know she says my little hands, both of my little hands. See from above my heart of steel to take away some comrade. Do you see from above my heart of steel? Take away some comrade. Take away some comrade. Take away some comrade.
Coming out of 2 from Ravi Shavi. That's right, a double shot of Ravi Shavi right here on the Tony Jones Show. Birds, the name of that one. Before that, we heard Accidental Mental. Now, last time we chatted, I brought you into some Michael Graves. He's currently on tour off of Night of Sam Hain, Dead Man, the name of that track. 1 week from today, we will unfortunately not be here because I'll be hosting Libertarian Potluck and Social at the Greenwich Cove Meadery. So if you're so inclined, now don't get too nervous about it being a political event because as libertarians, this isn't your traditional political event. It's been likened to folks hanging out in a college dorm room talking about politics.
Okay, well, my question would be, will any politics at all get done? By the time this...
well, you know, actually, that dovetails into perfectly what I saw on television last night, which was an alleged GOP debate.
I missed that. I taped it. And
it was awful.
I was about to watch it tonight. What was the most awful thing about it?
It was the equivalent of, the way it was like to me was like 4 or 5 frat boys fighting over the last beer. I mean, it was actually, I only watched parts of it, because it was just so awful.
So, in other words, it was kind of like a Saturday Night Live skit.
Saturday Night Live must have been watching that debate and drooling.
I mean, but are you sure that you didn't have Saturday Night Live on watching a skit instead of the debate itself?
No, it was too early in the night, so.
You're right. Timing would have been wrong. Okay, just checking.
And, I know there's a lot of detractors out there from independent and third-party politics, but I think that this is going to be one of those years where, like we saw in the 90s with the Reform Party, people are really going to be less than enthusiastic about their 2 major party choices.
Absolutely. Actually, haven't got a chance to ask you this question, Tony. This is as good a time as any. What do you think of Donald Trump? The whole phenomenon, not just,
I think that it's another situation where people are so disgusted by mainstream candidates that they're willing to glom on to something like that because they have nowhere else to turn.
Right. Now, should we glom?
I personally cannot glom.
your basic common sense,
right?
Your basic something or other just won't let you.
And the fact that he stated in the past that members of the Republican Party are idiots and that if I ever run for president, I'll run as a GOP candidate because those people will buy anything. So here's a guy who...
Did he literally say that?
Yeah, he said that he's been...
I'm not sure if that disqualifies him from our vote or basically makes me want to go out and vote for him.
I don't know if you remember the old cartoons. It was in the Looney Tunes era where the dog and the cat would fight all day and chase each other until it was like 5 o'clock, the whistle would blow.
Yes, the sheepdog.
And they would punch out.
The sheepdog and the wolf.
Right.
Yes, I remember that.
I think that's what we're seeing with the 2 major party, or what are going to shake out to be the 2 major party candidates right now. Donald Trump's a lifelong Democrat, a lifelong liberal, except for maybe a few financial sides, never been a conservative, yet
right.
he's
none
running
of his major positions
as a Republican.
Well, other than building those stupid walls, right? That none of his positions are conservative except his immigration and I think
some
that's it.
Some of the financial, paying down the national debt and things of that nature. But and just the fact that as a libertarian, the amount of times that Donald Trump has bought his way into utilizing eminent domain in Atlantic City, that irks me.
The whole idea of eminent domain irks me.
Right.
It does. Yeah. I mean, personally, I think the ideal ticket, if everybody would just calm down and think things over, would be Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
Together. Yeah, and then have a second, because what you're going to shake out in that situation is kind of 2 people with the same beliefs running against each other.
Right. So, I mean, that's what they should do if both of them become their party's representatives.
Yeah,
by all means, just shake hands.
Work on the same ballot, and that's the end. I mean, this could all be over in a couple months.
Yeah.
And we can get on to, I don't know what talk radio is going to do once this political season's over, though. I mean, people are salivating. They're drooling out there. I mean, it's. I called into a local show the other day, and I was on hold for a long time because people were just calling up and going nuts on the conservative talk radio.
Right.
And this was about cannabis.
Well, actually, I think the salivation might just go on indefinitely, right? Even after the presidential election. Before the election, they'll be screaming and yelling about who's going to be elected. After the election, they'll be screaming and yelling about who was elected. In other words, it's an endless campaign. It's an endless, I think Bill Clinton was the first one to almost designate that, endless campaigning.
Yeah. And I think we really are facing a make or break moment. There's 4 years ago, there wasn't much of a race. And then we saw in 2008 where there was a little bit more rolling up to the primaries. But every few years you have one of these red hot races, and then every few years you have the electoral season where people are kind of asleep. And this is definitely not the latter.
No. My question would be, though, if you really think about it, does this state of affairs in the presidential, campaigns, could this possibly mean that we've arrived at a point where it doesn't matter who's elected president? In other words, the institutions are so solidified. In other words, you kind of fit the square peg into the square hole. He makes a few speeches. He or she makes a few speeches, maybe makes a couple of minor decisions about policy, and things just roll on. In other words, it doesn't matter who's president?
I think that is the case for as long as so few people are involved in the political process. And I've always advocated that if you're serious about politics, you belong at your town hall and not watching what the president's doing.
Right,
but I think for as long as we have so few people involved, that's exactly going to be the case, where there's no opposition, so they might as well just roll along and do their thing.
Right. That's why I've often said myself that, I encourage the idea of third parties. I encourage the idea of roots politics. But what I criticize is the fact that a lot of, whether libertarians, Green Party, whoever they are, everybody says, okay, let's run somebody for president. Let's run somebody for the Senate. When what they should be concentrating on is, like you just said, in other words, how about getting candidates, representatives into local offices, whether it's, local town offices, whether it's local state offices. In other words, build some credibility by putting the third-party candidates, the independent candidates, in offices they can actually win.
Right, and that's where you build your bench, because that's when someone gets in and finds out, well, maybe politics isn't for me. You don't want to elect someone to Senate or president and they realize, not so much. But if you can go down to the town hall or your not the town hall, but your town meeting and sit through a 2, 3, 4 hour meeting, or sit through a legislation meeting up at the State House, then that's when you're going to know, hey, this is something I want to do moving forward, or this sucks. Because it does suck.
Right. And, it's kind of like being a police officer. It's kind of like being an airline pilot. I mean, you don't do much for long stretches of time, right? I mean, most of it is boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there comes a time when you have to, vote or not vote for a bill that's going to affect, your whole town, your whole state, your country, and yeah.
And it's the same syndrome for the same reason that we can't find any drummers or bass players in music, because everybody wants to be the lead guitar player and everybody wants to be the lead singer, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, never thinking, drawing that metaphor out a little further, that there have been bass players who have fronted bands.
Right.
I mean, think no further. Well, Dee Dee Ramone. I mean, everybody knows who Dee Dee Ramone was. Phil Collins played the drums. He fronted a. In other words,
John Entwistle from The Who.
John Entwistle from The Who.
Everybody knows him.
Yes, especially since he died under that hooker in Las Vegas with a nose full of coke. I mean, now that is the way to go, I'm telling you. But yeah, I mean, and it's taking those, boring small offices that if you do decide, see, that's what a lot of these, candidates or, would-be candidates don't understand is it's taking those small offices, it's building that grassroots support that if you